There's a quiet moment that catches many men off guard. Not when a woman smiles at them, not when she laughs. It happens after, when the conversation is over. And she turns back for just a second, almost as if she forgot something. Except she didn't. She was deciding whether to ask a question, and if the man happens to be older than her, that question often has nothing to do with his age. It's about something much deeper. Before we go any further, if these conversations help you understand the quiet side of attraction that people rarely explain, consider subscribing. It helps this channel keep having honest conversations like this, and maybe answers a few questions you've been carrying longer than you realize. Most people think attraction begins with appearance. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. In many cases, attraction begins with curiosity, real curiosity, the kind that quietly slips into someone's mind before they even admit they're interested. A younger woman who's drawn toward an older man often experiences something confusing. She tells herself she's only curious, only asking questions, only making conversation. But conversation has a strange habit of revealing what the heart is already trying to hide. You've probably lived through something similar, a woman who didn't ask everyone personal questions, but somehow she kept asking you, not rapidly, not like an interview, slowly, almost carefully, as though she wanted to understand something she couldn't see. Most men assume those questions are random. They're usually not. Imagine this. You're standing outside after work. People are leaving. The conversation should already be over. She could easily say goodbye. Instead, she stays. There's a few seconds of silence, comfortable silence. She looks at you, smiles slightly, then asks, "So, what were you like when you were younger?" At first it sounds harmless, maybe even playful, but psychologically, it's rarely just about your teenage years. She's trying to solve a puzzle, because older men often carry something younger men haven't developed yet. Not money, not status, presence, a certain steadiness. She's trying to understand whether that calm feeling around you is genuine, or simply experience pretending to be confidence. Notice something. She didn't ask what job you had first. She didn't ask what car you drive. She wanted your story. Stories reveal patterns. Patterns reveal character. Character predicts safety. And emotional safety is often far more attractive than excitement that disappears the next morning. Now, this doesn't mean every woman who asks about your past is romantically interested. People are naturally curious for many reasons. But when attraction is quietly growing, questions begin to carry emotional weight. She isn't collecting facts. She's imagining herself somewhere inside those answers. Could she understand this man? Would he understand her? Would life beside him feel peaceful or lonely? Those questions are happening inside her long before she says them out loud. And there's another detail that almost nobody notices. When she asks about your younger years, she's also listening for something you don't realize you're revealing. Not your successes, not your failures, your relationship with yourself. Some men answer with achievements. Others answer with regrets. Some laugh at who they used to be. Some still sound trapped there. Women often notice that difference faster than men expect, because confidence doesn't always sound confident. Sometimes confidence sounds gentle. Sometimes it sounds like a man who no longer needs to prove anything. That quietness has its own language. And people who crave emotional stability usually recognize it before they can explain why. But then, something unexpected begins happening. She asks another question. On the surface, it seems even simpler than the first. Yet this second question often reveals far more about her feelings than the first one ever could. And once you notice it, you'll never hear it the same way again. It usually doesn't happen at the beginning. Not when she's still deciding who you are. It happens after she's relaxed around you, after the conversations stop feeling planned, after she realizes she enjoys staying a little longer than she meant to. That's when the second question often appears. It can sound different every time. So, what are you actually looking for these days? Or, do you ever think about settling down again? Sometimes it's even quieter. What makes someone worth your time? If you're only listening to the words, you'll probably miss what's happening underneath. Because she isn't asking for information. She's trying to find her place inside your future. And that's a very different thing. I've watched men answer this question hundreds of different ways. Some become overly impressive. They start listing everything they want: loyalty, beauty, kindness, peace, shared values. The list gets longer and longer until it almost sounds like a job interview. You can actually see the atmosphere change. She smiles politely. She nods. But something soft disappears from her expression. Not because your standards were wrong, because she stopped feeling included in the conversation. Now imagine another version. She asks, "What are you looking for?" You pause. Not to create mystery, just because you're thinking. Then you smile. "I think I'm looking for someone who makes ordinary days feel lighter." Nothing dramatic, nothing rehearsed, just honest. Do you notice the difference? One answer invites comparison. The other invites imagination. She can quietly ask herself, could I be that person? That question matters more than most men realize. Because attraction often grows through imagination, long before it grows through certainty. People don't simply fall for who you are today. Sometimes they begin falling for how life feels when they picture you in it. That's why little conversations become surprisingly important. A woman who feels drawn toward an older man is often balancing two voices in her mind. One voice is excited. It notices how calm he is, how he listens instead of competing, how he doesn't seem desperate for attention, how silence around him isn't awkward, it's peaceful. The other voice, that one's cautious. It whispers questions she may never say directly. Would he understand someone my age? Would he think I'm immature? Would people judge us? Would this actually work? Or does it only feel exciting because it's different? Those questions don't cancel attraction. If anything, they sometimes appear because the attraction has become emotionally important. When people don't care, they rarely imagine obstacles. They simply move on. But when someone starts picturing a future, even a small one, the mind naturally begins searching for reasons to protect itself. That's why she starts paying attention to things that seem almost invisible. How you react when plans change, whether you're patient with waiters, how you speak about people who disappointed you, whether your confidence disappears when someone disagrees with you. Tiny moments. Tiny, tiny moments. Because attraction isn't only built through chemistry, it's often built through consistency. Most people remember grand gestures. Psychologically, it's the ordinary behaviors that slowly build trust. Think about the last time someone surprised you, not with a gift, with kindness. Maybe they remembered something you mentioned weeks ago. Maybe they noticed you were quieter than usual. Maybe they asked if you got home safely. The action was small. The feeling wasn't. Women often experience attraction in a similar way, not through one unforgettable moment, but through dozens of quiet moments that begin connecting together, like puzzle pieces. Without realizing it, she starts asking herself something she never expected. Not, is he attractive? But, why do I feel so calm around him? That question can be surprisingly powerful, because calm is easy to overlook. It doesn't create fireworks, it creates comfort. And comfort has a strange way of becoming addictive when life has felt emotionally noisy for a long time. But this is exactly where many men unintentionally change the direction of everything. They finally notice her interest. And suddenly, they stop being the very person she was becoming attracted to. Why does that happen so often? The answer isn't what most people think. In fact, it begins with a fear that almost every man has felt, even if he's never admitted it out loud. It's strange how quickly confidence can disappear, not because anything changed, not because she lost interest, because you finally realize she might actually like you. And somehow, that possibility feels more frightening than rejection ever did. You've probably seen it happen. Maybe you've even caught yourself doing it. For weeks, you were relaxed. You teased her without trying too hard. You listened because you genuinely wanted to know her. You weren't performing. You were simply present. Then one day a friend says, I think she's into you. Now every conversation feels different. You start replaying your own words. You wonder if you should text first, or wait. Should you compliment her? Would that be too much? Too little? Without noticing it, you're no longer responding to the woman in front of you. You're responding to the version of her you've created in your own mind. That shift is subtle, but people often feel it, especially someone who's paying close attention to you. And if she's already attracted, she may not know exactly why something feels different. She'll only notice that the easy rhythm between you has become heavier. That's because attraction rarely grows through perfection. It grows through emotional safety. And emotional safety doesn't mean saying the perfect thing. It means the other person doesn't feel like every moment is being judged. Imagine the two of you sitting in a quiet cafe. She's telling you a story about getting lost while traveling. Halfway through, she laughs at herself. Not because the story is funny, because she knows it was a little embarrassing. You laugh too, not at her, with her. Then you ask what happened next. Such a small moment. Most people would forget it by tomorrow. She probably won't. Because in that moment, she learned something. She learned that being imperfect around you didn't make her feel smaller. It made her feel accepted. That feeling has a quiet power. People don't always remember your exact words. They remember how easy it was to be themselves. And that matters even more when there's an age difference. Why? Because an age gap can sometimes make both people quietly question themselves. She may wonder, will he think I'm too inexperienced? Meanwhile, you may wonder, will she eventually want someone younger? Neither of you says it. The questions simply exist, like background music, soft, but always there. Here's where many older men make a mistake they never intended to make. They begin trying to prove they're still young. They force slang that doesn't sound natural. They pretend to enjoy things they don't really enjoy. They hide the parts of themselves that came with experience. It's understandable. No one wants to feel outdated. But something interesting often happens. The very qualities they begin hiding were the qualities creating attraction in the first place. Your patience, your emotional steadiness, the way you don't need every silence filled with words, the way you can disagree without turning it into a battle. Those things aren't exciting in the dramatic sense, they're reassuring. And reassurance is deeply attractive to many people who've spent enough time around emotional chaos. This doesn't mean every younger woman wants an older partner. Of course not. People are drawn to different qualities for different reasons. But when someone is attracted to maturity, she usually isn't looking for someone who acts younger. She's looking for someone who's comfortable being exactly who he is. There's something quietly magnetic about that. Not flashy, not loud, just settled. And settled people often make restless hearts feel safe enough to slow down. But attraction has another side, a side that almost nobody talks about. Because even when she's becoming emotionally attached, even when she's asking personal questions, even when she clearly enjoys being around you, there may still be one invisible test happening. Not a game, not manipulation, just a deeply human need to know whether your confidence belongs to you, or whether it depends on her. And the way you respond to that moment can quietly shape everything that comes next. There comes a moment that doesn't look important. In fact, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it completely. She takes a little longer to reply. She cancels a plan because something came up. She seems distracted one afternoon, even though she was warm the day before. Nothing dramatic, nothing that clearly says she's losing interest. Just a small shift. And it's often in that moment that something very revealing happens. Not about her, about you. I've noticed that many men don't become anxious because a woman pulls away. They become anxious because they suddenly lose the story they were telling themselves. If she likes me, she'll always text first. If she's attracted, she'll never change her mood. If things are going well, nothing should feel uncertain. Real people don't work like that. Some days we're tired. Some days we're carrying worries we haven't shared. Some days we simply need quiet. When attraction is real, life doesn't stop happening. That's easy to forget when your emotions are involved. Now imagine this. You've sent her a message. Nothing heavy. Just something that reminded you of a conversation you'd had together. Hours pass. No reply. You glance at your phone once, then again. Then you tell yourself you're only checking the time. Except, you're not. Your mind starts filling in the silence. Maybe she's changed her mind. Maybe she met someone else. Maybe I said something wrong. Notice what happened. The facts never changed. Only the story did. And stories are powerful, especially the ones we write inside our own heads. This is where emotional maturity quietly separates itself from emotional urgency. A mature man doesn't pretend he never feels uncertainty. He does. He's human. The difference is that he doesn't immediately treat uncertainty as proof. He lets reality catch up before deciding what the silence means. That sounds simple. It rarely feels simple. Because silence has a way of waking old fears. Fears that may have nothing to do with the person you're talking to. Sometimes they're echoes from relationships that ended badly. Sometimes they're memories of being overlooked. Sometimes they're just loneliness wearing a familiar face. If a woman is becoming emotionally invested in you, she notices how you carry those moments. Not because she's grading you, because she's asking herself another quiet question. Can this man stay grounded when life isn't giving him immediate reassurance? That's an important question, not only in dating, in life. Think about the men you've admired over the years. Maybe it was your father, an uncle, a teacher, a co-worker. What made them memorable? Often it wasn't that they always had the right answers. It was that they didn't seem to panic every time something became uncertain. There was a steadiness about them, a pause before reacting. That pause communicates something words often can't. It says, I don't need to control every moment to feel okay. For many people, that's deeply comforting, especially if they've spent years around emotional unpredictability. Now, this doesn't mean becoming distant or pretending not to care. Some men misunderstand confidence as emotional coldness. They're afraid to show excitement, afraid to send the first message, afraid to admit they enjoyed seeing her. But confidence isn't built by hiding your feelings. It's built by expressing them without making someone else responsible for your emotional balance. There's a quiet strength in saying, I had a really nice time, and then letting the words stand on their own, without chasing reassurance, without needing an immediate answer. That kind of honesty feels surprisingly rare, and rarity has its own attraction, because people can usually sense the difference between someone who is sharing a feeling and someone who is asking to be rescued from one. Then, almost without realizing it, something changes inside her. The questions stop sounding like curiosity alone. They become something warmer, more personal. She isn't just wondering who you were or what you're looking for anymore. She's beginning to wonder what it would actually feel like to build ordinary days with you. And that's where attraction quietly becomes something much deeper than first impressions. There's a moment that almost never gets talked about. Not because it's rare, because it's quiet. It doesn't happen during a romantic dinner. It doesn't happen after some perfect date. It happens on an ordinary Tuesday. She's telling you about something that annoyed her at work. Nothing dramatic, just one of those moments everyone has. She pauses halfway through her story and looks at you, not to see if you're listening. She already knows you are. She's watching for something else. Your reaction. Will you rush to solve the problem? Will you dismiss it? Will you make it about yourself? Or will you simply stay with her for a moment? Many men think attraction is built by saying impressive things. Often it's built by making someone feel emotionally safe enough to keep talking. There's a difference, and women who find themselves attracted to an older man often notice that difference more than they expect. Because life teaches all of us something eventually. Excitement is wonderful, but excitement alone doesn't carry you through difficult seasons. Calm does, patience does, feeling understood does. Those qualities don't always announce themselves. They reveal themselves in ordinary conversations, the kind nobody else would remember. A few years from now, she probably won't remember exactly what you said that afternoon, but she may remember how she felt walking away. Lighter, more settled. As if someone had made room for her thoughts instead of competing with them. That feeling stays with people, long after specific words disappear. And isn't that interesting? So many men spend years trying to become unforgettable. Sometimes the people we remember most are simply the ones who made us feel most like ourselves. Now think back to those two questions. What were you like when you were younger? What are you looking for these days? On the surface, they seem ordinary, almost too ordinary. But underneath, they're often reaching towards something much deeper. The first question is quietly asking, how did life shape you? The second is asking, is there room in the life you've built for someone like me? Neither question guarantees attraction. Of course not. People ask personal questions for many different reasons. Psychology is rarely that simple. But when those questions come with lingering eye contact, with genuine curiosity, with conversations that somehow keep stretching 5 minutes longer than either of you planned, they can become small windows into something growing beneath the surface, something neither of you may be ready to name yet. And here's the part I hope you remember. If someone is drawn to you because of your maturity, don't trade it away the moment you notice. Don't mistake steadiness for being boring. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. Don't assume you have to become louder to keep someone's attention. Real confidence is surprisingly quiet. It doesn't rush. It doesn't chase every moment of reassurance. It doesn't try to win every conversation. It simply shows up the same way, again and again. That's harder than pretending, but it's also far more believable. Some relationships begin with fireworks. Others begin with peace. Neither is automatically better, but peace has a way of growing roots, and roots matter when life becomes complicated. So the next time a woman smiles, pauses, and asks something that seems almost too simple, don't focus only on the words. Listen for the feeling underneath them. Sometimes she's not searching for the perfect answer. She's trying to discover the person behind it. And the irony is, the man she's hoping to find usually appears only after he stops trying so hard to impress her. He appears in the pauses, in the honesty, in the quiet confidence that says, this is who I am. Not perfectly, not without flaws, just genuinely. Because in the end, the strongest attraction often isn't created by making someone wonder if you're extraordinary. It's created by making them feel that when they're with you, they don't have to pretend to be anyone else.